Well, hello. How are you? I hope you're doing great. I'm being shown that your body's recalibrating. Your body is going through a physical upgrade to hold a greater degree of light, a higher frequency of light, to kind of match your high state of consciousness. Because you have connected with your higher self, you've connected with God consciousness, and now your body is like catching up. And so you might be going through some things on a physical level or even an emotional level. I am seeing like there's been so much emotional healing for you these past few years, or maybe you just stepped into a process where you're healing emotionally from this decades and years and so many different situations where you were severely mistreated by people very close to you, and also by people that weren't as close to you, but primarily by people that you were close to or a person you were close with. Okay, so you've been going through a great healing process, but it's like you reached the point where you've proven that you are dedicated to fulfilling your divine purpose. You passed all these different levels. And you leveled up, you elevated your consciousness. I spoke about that in a couple videos back. And now your body is like physically catching up. So what this means is that you might be having moments where like you're feeling good and you're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden you have all of these emotions come up, these difficult emotions. Anger, sadness, grief. You might even have fear come up. You might be feeling like there might be like guilt and shame coming up from things that you were conditioned to believe about yourself by people who were, that didn't have good intentions for you, that were mistreating you, that were sabotaging you, trying to control you. Or you might have guilt and shame coming up over some of the things that you've done, choices you made in order to survive, okay? This is all normal. It's like your body is releasing this old stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. It was just stuck in your cells. It gets stuck in your physical body. When you can't process emotion, when it gets stuffed down and it gets ignored, whether it's because you consciously choose to ignore it or because you're in survival mode. And I do see that for you, you were in survival mode. So it wasn't a conscious choice. It was like you needed to be able to live through these situations. And so you physically and mentally and emotionally couldn't process all of this stuff. Maybe it happened to you when you were very young. Maybe you lost your memory of it because it was really traumatic for you. Or maybe the veil was just lifted recently and you saw the truth recently. So it's like all of those years you lived through stuff, now you're seeing the truth and now you have to really process the truth, okay? But that's what I'm seeing for you, that it wasn't a conscious choice. There are people, like the people who were doing these malicious things towards you, who have consciously chose to push their emotions down, and it set into their physical system and it created a lot of disease for them. And that's kind of like the karma that they're receiving. It's not like God's like, you will be sick right now. It's like, hey, you've been urged and guided to do the right thing and to heal this emotion that you have. But instead of doing that, these people chose to like ignore it and push it down and make excuses for it, or, operate in the ego mind, keep their heart closed. And as a result, they've gotten very sick. Okay? But that's different. If I'm focusing on you, your body's going through this physical upgrade so that it can hold more light. And I am seeing that there are members of your spiritual team, higher dimensional beings, because you are a higher dimensional being. Your soul is a higher dimensional being. You are a very evolved soul. I say this all the time, but it's worth reminding you, or just like saying it again, because sometimes when we're in the grips of our emotion, our painful emotion, our hard emotion, we tend to forget how evolved our soul really is, because it brings us back into like this reality, back into our physical body, and how harsh this place is. Earth is just a very difficult place to be. It's like a very difficult, traumatic learning experience for those who want to be on the spiritual path, and also just for those who are not aware that they are spiritual beings. There are many people on earth operating at a very low state of consciousness. They're operating in their ego mind, and they're disconnected from their higher self, their soul, from the God consciousness, the source of all. They're disconnected. And it's not like their soul is actually disconnected. Their soul's always connected to them. But they have chosen not to have a relationship with their higher self, their soul, and the God consciousness. So it's like there's a split there. And they're operating in their ego mind. They're operating with these very false beliefs and values, this misguided values, very self-serving people, very controlling people, who also have a lot of pain from living in this harsh place, but they don't know how to address it. So, they push it down, they don't address it, and then they let their ego mind lead them to do like really malicious things, okay? But this place is so harsh, and you are a highly evolved soul, a high dimensional being. You are very highly, highly sensitive to energy, which might have made you feel like you were too sensitive or too emotional or too this, like you just didn't feel like you fit in. There was a lot of psychological warfare going on. And so there was a lot of energy that got stored in your physical body, which is now coming up for release. And so, yeah, you could be feeling very emotional. You could be feeling very angry. And it's very important for you to acknowledge the way that you feel and express it. Express it to God. God's not going to get mad at you for being angry over the life experiences that you've had. God understands. God's not going to take it personally, because God's not operating in an ego mind. People who are taking it personally are operating in the ego mind because they have wounds that have not yet been healed. And you might even sometimes take things personally because you have things still that you were conditioned to believe, experiences that like really set in for you that, are just looking to be healed and acknowledged. And you are doing the work, okay? You are doing the work. And you've done so much work that you have proven yourself to be able to move forward on your path, your divine purpose, the reason why your soul actually came here. Okay, because your soul did come here to assist humanity in raising its consciousness, but you also had to go through a lot of really messed up things, And that took up a large portion of your life. And so I'm being shown that you have these higher dimensional beings that are on your soul team. They're like your soul family. Very evolved souls that are working with you to assist in this healing process, to assist your body in releasing this stuff. They are guiding you in your meditations. They are working with you in your sleep. You might be like being called to take a lot of naps. It's because when you take a nap and you're not in your conscious mind, they're coming in and working on your physical body or like your etheric body with higher frequencies of light. And you are required to go into meditation quite often, or to go into stillness and to connect with the God consciousness, to connect with your higher self, and to keep your body aligned and calm. Now, this is requiring a lot of discipline from you. Discipline mentally, like to be very mindful, disciplined to acknowledge your emotions and to tend to them in loving and healthy ways, to give yourself what you need. If it's rest, if it's compassion, if it's a little bit of grace, if you need to be angry, you need to release. You know, you're being required to do that stuff. Of course, we want you, if you're feeling like rage and anger and like really like hard emotions, it's important to acknowledge and release them, but to do it in healthier ways. Ways where you're not like gonna put that on somebody else. I'm not saying to not speak the truth. If you need to stand up and defend yourself and to speak the truth, of course, do that. But I am saying like, it's more like not taking your bad day out on someone innocent. That's kind of like what the vibe is coming through. And there are so many different ways to release that emotion, whether it's writing, singing, dancing, going in your car and screaming, working out, going out in nature, meditating, or just speaking to God and being very honest. But the discipline I'm seeing is also with your physical body. You are being required to not put things into your body that don't feel, that your body's saying, like, I don't want this. This could require a very significant lifestyle change where you used to engage in certain things. Maybe you would partake in certain activities. Maybe they were activities that helped you at one time to survive, but they're not helping you right now. Maybe it's certain foods. Maybe you can't handle stimulants, caffeines, like processed sugars, or like chemicals in food, like to enhance the flavor, like MSGs or like yeast extracts, or like there's so many chemicals put in food, processed food. Maybe you can't eat processed food. Your body is, here comes Opal, she came to say hi. Say hi, baby. Your body is requiring nutrient-dense foods. Nutrient-dense foods, like whole foods, like fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. You know, if you eat meat, like fresh meats, like not processed food, not stuff made by other people. If you can avoid that, you know, your body wants a very clean diet. And so things you might be able to eat, you might be having like food sensitivities to. You might be getting like an upset stomach. You might be getting like acid reflux, things like that. Maybe you can't have alcohol anymore. Maybe you used to smoke plants and you can't do that anymore because your body's like at this level where it's like, I don't need this. This is keeping me down. And your body is elevating. Your body's expanding. It's expanding. It's getting lighter. Lighter, it's not as dense. I don't mean you're like losing weight, although you might be losing weight, but it's more like with the energy. Your energy is getting lighter, more refined. So you might not be able to eat denser foods. You might be called to eating, like making a lot of your own stuff from scratch. Maybe you already do that. But anyway, I'm seeing that it's requiring a lot of discipline from you. And you know, you don't have to be perfect. You might have moments where you know, like maybe you want something. Maybe you want to, like, I don't know, have something that's your body's like not really wanting. It's okay. But listen to your body. If you take something in and your body has a strong reaction to it, it's letting you know, hey, I don't want this right now. Like I can't, this is not assisting in this process of your ascension and your alignment and your moving forward. So really do listen to your body. It's communicating with you all of the time. You are being called to meditate more. whether that's meditations you find online where you're being guided, or whether it's going through your own meditations. Sound healing, that's been coming through a lot too, whether you're using your own voice and humming, or, you know, just using your own voice, maybe singing, or whether you're tuning in to pure frequencies made by others. There are creators out there who their purpose is to create these frequencies that are going to assist in your healing. And they're all over YouTube. Whether it's like somebody using a handpan, or somebody using like flutes, or like drumming, or just using, you know, like frequencies like solfeggios, or like delta frequencies, or things like that, pure tones, or maybe even someone who does like the tuning forks. There are a lot of healers out there, and I am seeing that your ability to heal is increasing. And that's why it's so important for you to keep your like frequency elevated, and to maintain your alignment, and to tend to your body. Because like if your healing abilities are increasing, that's because the amount of light that you're holding, the frequency of light you're holding, is increasing. Okay? So yeah, that's the message. Your body's recalibrating. Again, I'm not a medical professional. This is not medical advice. So if you are going through something that you are in a lot of pain, you feel really sick, you know, getting like severe migraines, like you can't function, or, you know, just your body's hurting in some way, please go see your doctor. Please go get checked out, get that peace of mind. You know, if you need medicine, you know, go utilize that stuff. But also understand that, you know, if it's not severe and you're just like, oh, I was feeling good, and now all of a sudden I'm not feeling that great, or I'm feeling emotional, or I'm getting this like little bit of cluster headaches, it's because your body's releasing stored energy. Okay, so just tend to yourself, give yourself the love that you need. It's very important. You are important. You are worthy. You've been through so much. I mean, most people that go through the things that you've been through don't make it out to the other side. But you have. You have a divine purpose. Your soul is motivated. It has the right motivation, like your motivation in love, unconditional love, truth, understanding. You are all aligned. And you have a lot of help. And you might even be remembering, excuse me, these other higher dimensional beings coming in to help you. Or maybe your level of communication is very clear. Like you can communicate telepathically with them, like instantly, and have these telepathic conversations. Like this is your confirmation, like it's not your imagination. You're actually having these, it's really happening. Okay? And so that's the message. I'm really proud of you. Your team is really proud of you because you have passed like some type of level where you've really like proven that you are in service, like you're fulfilling, like you either want to fulfill this purpose or you are fulfilling it. And it's like you've gotten over this hump. So it doesn't mean that the things that you've been through stop hurting. You know, that's very real. That stuff is very real. But it's like you're just at a different level of understanding with it. You will have moments where, you know, it's up and down, like maybe you feel better or maybe you feel worse that day, and that's part of the process. So just give yourself the love you need and be open to receiving this assistance and guidance from the soul family and the team that love you so much and who like chose to come here with you and help you through this very important process. You are very special. You are very special to this world, and you have a very important role. Okay? Don't forget that. God loves you so much. I love you so much. We all love you so much, and you're doing a really great job. Okay? I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to end it there. I hope you have a great day, and just love on yourself.